horrific story out of D.C. A carjacking that left a delivery driver there dead. But now two teenage girls, ages 15 and 13.
Life gets a lot more magical when you and for decades
Have been charged with assaulting him with a stun gun, leading to the crash that killed him. A lot of questions being asked now, including if services like Uber Eats need to do more to protect drivers. Our Ariel Resha joins us now with the very latest. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, TJ. That deadly attack on a 66-year-old Uber Eats driver happened in broad daylight, 4:30 p.m. as he was trying to deliver food. There are two teen suspects arrested in a shocking and senseless crime. This morning, two teenage girls arrested, charged with felony murder and armed carjacking after police say they violently attacked and killed an Uber Eats driver in Washington, D.C. Police say the suspects, just 13 and 15 years old, were in the process of trying to steal 66-year-old Mohammad Anwar's car when one of them used a taser on him as they tried to speed off, which police say led to the deadly car crash. The car flipping over, Anwar ejected. He was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but did not survive. The teens arrested at the scene. Anwar's loved ones calling the sudden loss immeasurable, telling ABC News the father of three and grandfather of four moved to the U.S. from Pakistan in 2014 to build a better life for himself and his family.
It's more than tragic. I don't even know that word describes what happened. It's senseless.
Police say they've seen a spike in carjackings in Washington, D.C. and in several other major cities since the pandemic began. In 2020, 345 carjackings were reported in the nation's capital, more than double the year before. The city launching a task force just last month to help focus on these incidents.
Because it's very important that we find out the people who are responsible for these carjackings and that we have justice.
Uber drivers nationwide have been on alert after a string of attacks. Earlier this month, a San Francisco Uber driver was assaulted and taunted by belligerent passengers. Authorities arresting one of the passengers and charging another with attempted robbery and assault. Uber now teaming up with law enforcement who are available to work with police 24 hours a day to respond to urgent calls. The company telling ABC News, "We are devastated by this tragic news and our hearts go out to Mohammed's family during this difficult time." And Uber says that it is grateful these suspects were arrested. Police not releasing their identities because they are juveniles. Both teens have pleaded not involved, which is the adult equivalent of not guilty. TJ.
Ariel Resha for us. Thank you so much.
Well, hey there.
This is out of control. This is out of control. It really is. Because where are the parents for these kids? There's no excuse for this. None. Absolutely no excuse. And it's heartbreaking for that, I feel bad for that family. I really do. The man comes over here just to make a better life for himself. And he has to deal with, this. Their family has to deal with this. I hope the teens, they go to juvenile, they go to a juvenile detention center and then they go to real prison as adults. That's what I hope for. GoFundMe for Uber Eats driver allegedly murdered by 13 and 15-year-old girls surpasses 1 million. Moments after allegedly crashing Mohammad Anwar's car vehicle during a carjacking attempt, one of the girls asked where her cell phone was as the victim lay dying on the sidewalk. These two girls were not taught any discipline. I guarantee you they were raised by a single mother. Guarantee you. A derelict single mother. When Uber Eats driver Mohammad Anwar was killed last week in a deadly carjacking attempt by 2 teenage girls, her family lost a beloved husband, father, and grandfather, as well as their main provider. After the 66-year-old's death, his nephew's wife set up a GoFundMe to help defray funeral costs and help support his family. As of Wednesday, the GoFundMe has surpassed 1 million. Anwar, a working Pakistani immigrant who came to the United States to create a better life for him and his family. Creator Lahar Bajino wrote on the GoFundMe page, he was simply at work yesterday evening providing for his family when his life was tragically taken in an appalling act of violence. On March 23rd at about 4:30 p.m., Anwar was in the South Side, Washington, D.C., Southeast Washington, D.C., in his Honda Accord when 2 girls ages 13 and 15 allegedly tried to carjack him. The Metropolitan Police Department said in a statement, the girls whose names have not been released because they are minors allegedly assaulted the victim with a taser while carjacking the victim, which resulted in a motor vehicle accident. The MPD said in the statement, Anwar struggled with the girls as they tried to overtake the car, a witness told NBC Washington. Related shocking new video taken by the witness that has gone viral, viewed by millions around the world, shows Anwar yelling, "They're thieves, this is my car," as the girls allegedly jumped in the car. Fox 5 DC reports, with one of the girls allegedly operating the car from the passenger side. The Accord takes off down the street with Anwar still hanging onto the driver's side door. Oh no. Fox 5 DC reports, the car careens down the street before a loud crash is heard. Anwar was thrown from the vehicle, which flipped on its side. The Washington Post reports. The video shows one of the teens allegedly emerging from the overturned car. Anwar lay face down on the sidewalk with a head injury and broken bones, saying, "My phone's in there." Fox 5 DC reports. That's how selfish this chick was. I heard her talk. She sounded like a selfish ghetto chick. Anwar was rushed to the local hospital where he was pronounced dead. The same day, the 13-year-old who is from D.C. and the 15-year-old from Fort Washington, Maryland, was arrested and charged with felony murder and armed carjacking taser, says police. On March 24th, the girls made their first appearance in D.C. Superior Court via video and pleaded not involved, which means not guilty in juvenile court, Post reports. It is unclear whether the suspects have retained attorneys who would comment on their behalf. They remain in custody. They are scheduled to appear in court Wednesday. Anwar leaves behind his wife and 2 adult children in the U.S., and an adult son and 4 grandchildren in Pakistan, according to his family, NBC Washington reports. I don't know what's going on, but this parenting, but who's ever in charge of these kids, whether it's an auntie, a grandmother, or just a mother, he did a terrible job, and these black teens need to go away to jail. I don't know what it is. It's like a bunch of savages out here since this COVID-19, and nobody's taking care of their kids. For some reason, nobody's taking care of their kids. I don't know why. But they need to be doing that. And whoever's in charge of these kids, they need to be sued as well. Those are my thoughts on it. Thoughts and prayers for Anwar's family. That's all I got to say for now. Other than that, later, on to the next story.